It's time for the One Bar and Lupagus Show, bringing you anything and everything Minnesota Vikings.
Welcome to professional football.
All right, welcome to One Bar and Lupagus Show. I am Lupagus, and as you can see, I have my Vikings swim cap on once again. All right, today we're going to talk about what we can expect from Bisi Johnson in year 2. But before we hop into that, be sure to like our videos, subscribe to our page, because we'll be pumping out Viking content all throughout the summer, so you'll be the first to be notified when new stuff drops. All right, so Bisi Johnson, he was a great story from a year ago, very late 7th round pick. A universal long shot to make the team last year, but he defied the odds, slowly worked his way up the depth chart, and made the team. And it was surprising that he was actually able to make the team. I mean, physically, this guy doesn't really have any traits that stand out. He's not exceptionally fast. He ran a 40-yard dash time that was slightly above 4.50. He's only 6 feet. So physically, this guy isn't gonna wow you with his athletic ability, his traits, but he's an excellent route runner, great hands, and that's what really caused him to work his way up the depth chart for the Vikings last year. He gained the trust of Kirk Cousins. He had a nice preseason, and he rightfully made the team. After Chad Bisi was a bit of a bust, Bisi Johnson found himself as the third receiver on the depth chart, and he actually had a solid little rookie season. He had 31 catches for 294 yards and 3 touchdowns. So way more production than the Vikings were expecting from this late 7th round pick. A lot of people kind of thought Dylan Mitchell would have been the guy who would have made the team, but Bisi surprised and secured that spot. I can't see him really improving those numbers this year, just because there's going to be way more competition in the Vikings receiving corps. Look at what he had to go against last year. His primary competition was Dylan Mitchell, Chad Bisi, Laquan Treadwell. Just not a lot of high-end talent there. So, not to take nothing away from Bisi, but there just wasn't any competition really. This year he's got a lot more competition on the depth chart. He's got to worry about, obviously, Justin Jefferson, who's going to make the team and be ahead of him on the depth chart. But Tajay Sharp, Chad Bisi is going to be back. KJ Osborne, Alexander Hollins, Dylan Mitchell again, Davion Davis, Courtney Davis, and don't forget Dan Chisena, who is a very, very big long shot, but he's got some wheels on him. Anyway, even, Bisi's going to make the team. Where he ends up on the depth chart is going to be the question. I don't know if Tajay Sharp's a lock to make the team, but if he does, he'll be battling Bisi Johnson for that 3rd spot. Courtney Davis could make the team. He's a great slot weapon in college. He's got good size, nice broad shoulders. He's got a lot of similar traits as Bisi. He's not really fast, but he's got good hands. He's kind of tough to bring down when he has the ball in his hands. So even if Bisi Johnson, is the 3rd receiver again, I think there's just going to be less targets to go around. The Vikings are going to want to feed Justin Jefferson. They're going to, of course, feed Adam Thielen. And I also think Irv Smith Jr.'s role is going to increase in the passing game. It's going to have to without Stephon Diggs in town. So, and then you also got to factor Delvin Cook getting catches. So to say Bisi Johnson's going to have a bigger year in 2020 than he did in 2019, I think is a stretch. I think he has a very similar year where he's going to catch around 30 balls, around 300 yards, and maybe get in the end zone a couple times. But again, to take nothing away from Bisi Johnson, I just think the competition's much more improved at the depth chart of wide receiver. Targets are going to be hard to come by, so I think at best, Bisi Johnson will post similar numbers. All right, I'll be back again. We'll talk about another second-year player and what to expect from them, and we'll talk about some other things. So until then, this is Lupagus, and I'm saying goodbye.